everyone, this is Julie HR, and today what we're going to be going over is the 2025 Annual Training Plan. I'm sure you're quite aware that 2025 is around the corner, and plans need to be put in place within your training department. So let's take a look at the template I've created for you. Super excited about it. It'll get you organized and on the right track. So here we have the 2025 Annual Training Plan. It's key to have this in place to understand exactly what you're going to be rolling out to the different departments and organizational groups within your company. Here you go. Here's a quick little slideshow of what's in it. Here we have right here, annual training plan features. There's 9 pages. Here is a particular template in the page with the document training goals, objectives, performance metrics, and outcomes. Now, some of you have probably not put together a training plan. Don't worry, I'm going to help you. I'm actually going to give you some verbiage to put in there. So to help you out. So let's look at it a little bit more. It also talks about resources such as the training budget, training staff, headcount, and then estimated training staff travel. And within there, you have critical. The different sections are critical and or immediate training needs, training goals, objectives, performance metrics, resources, core training programs, mandatory training, additional training, review, schedule, and then plan revision. The sections are straightforward. However, they're blank. So I'm going to help you guys fill those in. It serves as a strategic plan encompassing your organization's training goals, objectives, performance metrics, and outcomes. And it's been very helpful for those that use my 2024 annual training plan. And this page right here, which we'll go over, it's also very useful. And then here's the last slide. Continually updating your annual training plan throughout the year. That's very important. And there's also an area for an appendix, which we'll go into in just a second. I just wanted to kind of give you an overview. Oh, and there's me. Okay, so I'm going to pull it up right now. So here's your annual training plan, ABC organization. With this particular template, last year it was a PDF. Didn't really make a lot of sense for me to create a PDF. So therefore, now it is a Word document, which just has a lot of text boxes. So you can put your organization's name in there, XYZ company. If you want to put different items down the side, just in case you maybe take off a particular section of it. You want to change up the color. I know a lot of people don't really know about this, but go to Home. This is a shape format, shape fill, and I did two different right here. Shape format, shape fill. You can make it however you want it. So, and you can move it around, move the boxes around. It's very simplistic, easy for you as a trainer or as an HR professional to utilize. Once again, this is Word. Right here, this is very important. Prepared by title, and it needs approval. So I would assume that like the training lead or maybe the HR generalist who puts this together yearly, presents this to perhaps the executive staff. You may actually want to add another line. You may want to have your Your COO sign it, your CFO sign it, your CEO sign it. It just says, hey, yeah, we've got the buy-in to this. We understand it and we support you, with the budget and what you've got going on this next year. Here's the table of contents, intro, background, and we'll go over that right now. Okay, so introduction. What you essentially want to do, it's your organization. Talk about your organization's mission and vision statements and describe your customer base. That should be pretty simplistic. So I'm going to let you guys do that. Background, describe the types of training needs assessments conducted during this annual cycle. You may want to go into talking about how you're going to be rolling out individual development plans. Maybe an organizational needs assessment needs to be done. Just a little background. And if you don't actually need this portion, like I said, just get rid of it. Easy breezy. Love this template. Okay, critical and or immediate training needs. Does anybody have an idea? Well, number one, if you're in HR, from year to year, there are regulations, safety regulations, and compliance regulations that change. Perhaps, your company size has gone from 20 to 100. There are different needs there are different trainings that need to take place as a result. So I'm going to give you like an example. Hold on. I'm going to look at something that I wrote down that I really, really, really liked. As mentioned, compliance. I would put compliance with new regulatory requirements. I mean, OSHA may, send something down that says, hey guys, you need to do, such and such training now that you've got a new manufacturing plant or whatnot. So that it would be one thing. So updated compliance training. And then immediate roll out of compliance due to regulatory need to put my glasses on. Sorry, guys. Okay, now they're on. All right. So that would be one. Another one, there may also another critical need. I can totally see this. It's a new year. A lot of people get promotions and leadership skill development for recently promoted managers. So think about your immediate needs. So I'm going to put in leadership skill development for recently promoted man. And it'll definitely be of high importance, especially if it's the first time manager. Training. How about a new manager leadership boot camp? I'm just being creative here. That's focused on training new managers, leadership skills. When you think about being a new manager, you have to have those leadership skills, team management, conflict resolution. I could go on and on. If you want to go onto my Etsy store, there are at least 15 different booklets for the first time for new managers. And you'll see that under like the manager resources tab on my Etsy store. Okay, critical and or immediate training needs. I think you understand that. Training goals, objectives, performance metrics, and outcomes. So with that being said, describe your organization's training goals, objectives, performance metrics. The goals will change from year to year. So your annual review process should include the opportunity to add, modify, or delete previous goals. So when I thought about that and I started thinking about that, I would say a goal would be to enhance employee skills in their core competencies. I don't know if you know what core competencies are, but they are key. And number one, I've been reading a lot where core competencies are actually key, very important to use when you're interviewing, like say an accountant. You want to interview them, specifically, you probably want to do a behavioral interview, but you want to incorporate competencies to include forecasting and budgeting and whatnot, and also, research and whatnot. So with that being said, I would type into here, enhance employee skills and core competencies. That would be my goal, because that would be my goal, because that is what I've been, that's what I've been speaking with to a lot of my clients, focusing in on competencies, enhance employee skills and core competencies. And these core competencies, they should be included within your job descriptions. The objective would be to, develop a baseline. Let's develop a baseline understanding in critical skills to include communication, problem solving, etc. A metric, I would say a metric. And when I talk about competencies, there are different types. There are ones that are position specific, but then there are ones that are more company specific. I like to, and I made this very general, but if I was talking about accountant or whatnot, I might put, or if there was an issue with, me having a CPA firm, if I had a CPA firm, my goal would be to enhance the skills and core competencies of accountants. But I'm keeping this pretty basic in general right here, and just using these competencies, which could be used across a number of different organizations. And the performance metric, percentage. I always like to do percentages. Percentage of employees meeting baseline proficiency within 6 months based on a skills assessment. It could be a verbal one, it could be a written one, or whatnot. And the outcome, of course, would be improved. Obviously, would be improved baseline skill proficiency across the organization. So this is basically something across the organization. And I would throw in new hires are really key. I would say new hires reaching proficiency within the first, let's say, 4 months. Okay, that's a bit brave, but there you go. Training goals, objectives, performance metrics. Think about your organization. But I'm right here, I'm thinking about the organization as a whole. Okay, moving right along. And of course, some other ideas would be to increase compliance training rates and whatnot, and ensure all employees are completing the required compliance training on time. That is key, huge. So you can put that there. Okay, we're going to take a look at resources. Okay, list the resources, budget, and staff necessary to implement your training plan, right? Okay, It all depends on the number of people in your, if you're going to have outside staff, people, contractors coming in, training budget, right? Training staff, full-time equivalents, how many employees, full-time equivalents, and then the estimated training staff travel funds. Here, this is something that is key. Core training programs, projects, and activities. These are pretty much the ones. List the core training activities and services provided by each training function to your organization. Describe each training activity in terms of driver, a need that is currently not being met. So this is like a project. This is a program. It's an activity that will impact the area that is in need. And let's say, I'm a big compliance girl. I'm a big safety girl. So I could say a driver of one of my, and of course I used to be in charge of a lot of the safety committees and stuff like that. So one of my drivers would be seeing that there were low employee compliance rates in mandatory policy area. Let's do it to include safety and harassment. Now remember, as always, this happened to show up in bold. You can make it not bold. You can make it larger. This is all very easy to do. So that would be the driver, and then just a compliance training program. You should already have a compliance training program in place, but maybe I'm just going to put compliance training program. Maybe an enhanced program with more offerings and trainings throughout the year. Because, sometimes people aren't always able to attend a particular safety or training program. They may be out or whatever. Maybe look to amp that up. And if this sounds like a lot, don't make it a lot. If this is your first time doing this, just put not pen to paper, but just type it in and just start with something. Get it organized. Training is key for your employees. Okay, mandatory training. If you guys don't know what mandatory training is within your organization, this is something that cannot be overlooked. Obviously, I'm going to say, on mandatory for me, in all my organizations was onboarding training, orientation training, and right here, if you guys aren't familiar with tables, this is a table. Go to table layout right here. I always like to show some neat tips and tricks. And you want those words to go to the middle. There you go. Table. This is an actual table. Orientation training. List any mandatory trainings required within your organization. Compliance and whatnot. Completed by. And that would be, I would say completed by on a month. It should be on a monthly basis by HR if it was orientation, orientation, because you need to understand the policies, the procedures, the ins and outs of the company. You need to understand the mission, the vision. You actually need to know the organizational chart. Other mandatory trainings, if you're not familiar with HR, you need to have fire safety training every single year. And when employees first start, you need to have initial new hire safety training. What I do is it's simple. You don't have to make it really, 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 over the top, confusing and whatnot. I just use a PowerPoint that goes through OSHA, a lot of the big OSHA items, such as slip, trips, and falls, or, fire evacuation, safe lifting, and whatnot. So this needs to be initial new hire safety training. And I'm just going to put 2, or this will be a long video. Additional training, list additional non-mandatory trainings that you're offering. And right now, I think in this day and age, if we think about it, and when I look at a lot of the comments and, hear feedback from people, they want trainings that allow employees to have a better work-life balance. Help employees have stress in their lives. It's key to maybe perhaps bring in a speaker that speaks to how to balance their time. You may even have a training of, let's have a yoga type training. Throw some fun stuff in there. People work hard for your organization. So, if it's a fun additional training, that would be great. So with that being said, review your schedule, draft a schedule for a periodic review and revision of all the documentation of your training. I would, give it your best shot. You do not have to be perfect, but just put down the training that that you need within your organization. Basic safety, compliance, onboarding, orientation, leadership development for managers, where do we put this? New manager training for those new managers that have been recently promoted. That's so key. I'll tell you what, one thing I did a long time ago, and I'll keep it short, is that there is turnover within a particular organization. And, at the end of the day, it came down to training the new managers correctly. How? Train the new managers on how to hire for their organization, for their company's core values. And when the managers understood that, they were able to find those right candidates who would stay and they wouldn't leave. So training, I think new manager training is one of the biggest wins you can do within your organization. Number one, if you're in HR, it's going to save you doing a lot less, I guess, in this day and age, if you still use a lot of paperwork, a lot of transactions and stuff like that. There won't be a lot of turnover. Train your managers. Those people are very, very key to your organization. So I know this has been quite this has been a long video, but right here, appendix. Once you get everything down, put it on a calendar, create a calendar, start, putting orientation once a month, new manager training every other month, just keep it going. But you need to have like a compliance calendar for training. You need to plan in advance orientations or new hire orientations. Things need to be planned in advance so employees will be able to actually attend these training events. And with that being said, I really hope that this particular annual training plan, shout out if your company's colors are pink. Hopefully this will help. If you need assistance, please reach out to me. I'm so happy to help, and I love to help. And I'm going to go back to my screen right over here so I can say goodbye to everyone. So I hope everybody enjoyed that. Please do not hesitate to reach out. I'm here to help. I'm here to help you, your organization, your small organization. I'm able to create videos on a whim like that. I'm usually in front of the computer quite a bit because I have a lot of different clients. But hope everybody has a great rest of the day, and thank you so much. And I will put the link to this Etsy this XC template, training template for 2025 in the description. So I hope everybody has a great day. And as always, subscribe. Thanks so much.